Hello, so in this video we're going to take a look at 3 big reasons that people fail the ADI Part 2 driving test. Now if you don't know, ADI Part 2 is an advanced driving test that you must pass to become a driving instructor. So 3 big reasons people fail, and I should point out that the standard is much higher than that of the L test. If you've just taken an L test and you did well on that, let's say you got 2 driver faults, 2 minors as people call them, that's really good. If you then went and did a part 2, you will be destroyed. You'd probably get 10 serious and 20 minors, 20 driver faults, the proper name for them. But anyway, that's standard. It's very high, much more difficult to pass than the L test. Why is that? Well, here are 3 big reasons that people fail. Number 3 is not making sufficient progress. Now on an L test, you could come up to a roundabout, for example, and let's say that the left lane goes ahead and the middle lane goes ahead. There are 3 or 4 vehicles in the left lane. It wouldn't matter at all on an L test if you simply pulled up behind those vehicles, waited for a bit and then went. You would fail a part 2 for that because the middle lane was empty. You could have made better progress by driving down the middle lane. Now another good example of this is when you're on the motorway, because on part 2s you do motorway driving as well, but you wouldn't do that on the current L test. So if you're on a motorway and you're in the left lane doing say 63, you will fail for that if you can get around the vehicle safely and make better progress. That may include using the middle lane and the far right lane. There may be more lanes. Where I am in Birmingham, there are 5 lanes on the motorways, so you'll be expected to get past as many people as you can, as safely as you can, which is nowhere near as easy as it sounds, because of course other people will be speeding, but you can't speed. So you've got to pass the ones that are going too slow without slowing down the ones that are going too fast. It's very difficult to do safely. The second biggest reason people fail in part 2 is because of crossroads. Now on the L test, this is not something you're expected to do, but on the part 2, whenever you pass a crossroads, you're supposed to look left and right, even if you're going straight ahead and the light's on green for you, you've got to look left and right. Loads of people simply don't know that, and they fail or get heavily marked down because they're not doing it. The reason for this is you need to be checking for things like emergency vehicles or people jumping red lights. And I always remember when I did my part 2, my trainer taught me this and I said, well, that's never going to happen, is it? 2 weeks later, you can tell what's coming, can't you? 2 weeks later, I was on my way to a training session and I was driving to Wolverhampton. And there's a very long road that goes from Birmingham to Wolverhampton. I think it's even called the Wolverhampton Road. I can't remember now. But anyway, there's loads and loads of crossroads on this road. I was going over one of them. I looked to my right and I saw a fire engine coming through a red light. So I stopped, let them through. So I always remember that, and it's a really handy tip to use, not just for advanced drivers, for anyone. Always have a look left and right on crossroads. Again, on an L test, you wouldn't even have it marked, it's not even mentioned, but on the advanced test, it's something they do look out for. The number one thing I'd say I see people failing for is simply mirrors. So if you're going on a part 2 driving test, remember, mirrors. Okay, it's all about the mirrors. And I remember doing my part 2 and I said to my trainer, if I check my mirrors anymore, my head's going to fall off because you have to check them so often. Now, the recommended amount of times to check them is once every 10 seconds. So if you think about it, the part 2 test is 1 hour long. So that means you're doing the mirrors 6 times every minute, which is 360 times in the hour. And considering you've got to check the mirrors in pairs, then you've got to do them 720 times. So you're expected to do roughly 720 mirror checks as a minimum throughout the 1 hour drive. So the way to practice this is when you wake up in the morning, don't think about yawning, don't think about getting out of bed. The first thing you're going to do is check those mirrors. When you're in the bathroom having a shower, check those mirrors. And when you're walking down the street to work, check those mirrors. You've got to be checking the mirrors like a demon. Mirror. You'll find out why when you do the part 2 training with me. But there was much more to say about the mirrors than just that. It's probably worth doing a whole video just about this. Did you know, for example, that you have to check the mirrors in a specific order It's not just checking them. If you check them on an L test in the wrong order, again, it wouldn't be mentioned. If you checked in the wrong order on a part 2, it would be enough to potentially fail you. So there you go. There's just 3 quick reasons that people failed a part 2. There are many others, and I will be doing some mock part 2 tests soon with me driving the routes, and hopefully with people who are training with me driving the routes, if I can find anyone who's willing to be filmed. So I hope that's been helpful to you. If you are looking into ADI training, have a look at my website. I do offer all kinds of training, part 1, part 2, part 3, and standards checks. And if you're willing to have the sessions filmed, they are free. So if you fancy some free ADI training, just get in touch with me. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more videos.